Good morning. Good morning. It is Monday morning motivation with Chris Cook in Nashville. And today we are streaming to both channels, to the Chris Cooking Nashville page as well as the Chris Cooking Nashville Studios channel. If you are watching this on the Chris Cooking Nashville main channel where I do my recipes, I will be eventually moving all of this stuff permanently to the Chris Cooking Nashville Studios page when it comes to like my health information videos and like these Monday morning live streams. I've been doing these on the Chris Cooking Nashville Studios channel, but I decided to move this over as well to the Chris Cooking Nashville main page because you guys might not know that we have a community of people that are interacting every Monday on the main Chris Cooking Nashville page. Come over to the Chris Cooking Nashville Studios channel. So we do this every Monday morning at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, and it's just a good chance for the community to hang out and for you guys to get a little bit of hopefully some motivation for your week and your proper human diet, whatever version of that you are on, some motivation to be able to do that strongly. So if you guys are watching, please comment, let me know you are here, where you are watching from. Hit the thumbs up for me to let YouTube know that this is a cool thing that people like. And if you're not already, you can go to the description box and you'll see the link for my Chris Cooking Nashville Studios channel. And I would love for you to go over there and subscribe to that. So if you like this kind of stuff, the Monday morning motivation live streams, or I'm going to be doing more interviews over there. I've got a bunch of them actually scheduled. We did the first one with Anita from Ketogenic Woman. I did do that to the Studios channel as well as the main Chris Cooking Nashville channel. I'm going to keep doing those on both channels for now, but as the Studios channel grows, that is where all of the interviews and health type videos that aren't kind of kitchen related, that's where those are going to eventually go. So would love for you guys to subscribe to that, hit the notification bell if you are not already subscribed. And if you're watching this on the Studios channel, thank you so much. Make sure to tell your friends that the Studios channel exists because we're trying to grow that. And once I get that to a certain point, it monetizes the channel, which then allows me to actually do more things for you guys. So very, very cool. So let's see who's here in the chat this morning. We got 37 people watching already. So make sure you guys have hit that thumbs up button for me to let everybody know that this is a valuable thing and that YouTube should show this to more people. That helps out so much. Let's see. Maritza is here. Hello, Chris, Ash, and Mel. Thank you, Maritza, for being here. Unfortunately, Ash has a business meeting this morning with a rep from Bose. If you guys know the Bose sound systems, we use Bose stuff for touring and things when we have to take PA systems and stuff. And so she is actually endorsed by Bose, and they're kind of doing a business meeting to re-up hopefully her endorsement so that we can continue using Bose products and tell everybody about how great they are because their sound systems are amazing. Very, very cool. So she's having coffee and doing a business meeting this morning with the Bose rep. So we're just, Mel and I are hanging out. She's actually outside the door because she just needs some peace and quiet. And I think she's probably either outside the door right here or she's downstairs on the couch sound asleep. She had a busy day. So a couple of days ago. So she's just recovering. Jolene is here. Good morning and God's blessings to all. Well, good morning to you, Jolene. We're glad you're here. Richard Williams is here. Good morning, neighbors. Hope you have a great week, man. We hope you do as well. We always appreciate you, Richard, for being here. Richard is our neighbor over here in Tennessee, and hopefully we'll make it his direction one of these days because apparently he's from Copper Hill, as he says all the time, and apparently it's real nice over there. So hopefully Ash and I can make it over that way and see how beautiful it is. Lynn is here, 22Q Cat. Good morning, all. Love my Monday morning motivation time. Chris, Ash, and all of you. Yes, we appreciate you, Lynn. Lynn is an OG who's been here pretty much since the beginning of my main Chris Cooking Nashville channel. And she's probably one of 3 people that saw like the very first few videos I was putting out back in the day when they were terrible. CM Cakes is here. Good morning. Good morning to you. My mom is here briefly without sound doing her daily monitoring duty in ISS. Wave if you can. Hello, Mom. Robert Alvarez Gayoso. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I apologize if I'm not. Roberto. Roberto is here. May God bless you and Ash. Well, Roberto, thank you. Same to you. TPC Delisle, that's my dad. He is here. Addicted Antlers is here. Good morning. And CM Cakes says, question, quick breakfast idea. Great question. So if you go to my main Chris Cooking Nashville channel, I don't know which one you're watching this on, but if you go to my main breakfast channel, you will see on the main channel, I have a egg bites video. They're kind of like little mini quiche type things. Done in a muffin pan, and they're like the Starbucks sous vide egg bites sort of thing. You can make those ahead of time, and you can pull them out of the refrigerator and heat a couple of them up in like a minute and be out the door. Those are fantastic, and they last for 5-6 days in the refrigerator easily. So you can make them once a week. I also have a crustless quiche, and you can use that recipe as well. It also reheats really well. So I used to make crustless quiche and cut it into like 4 wedges, and I would take one of those with me to work, and I would heat it up at work when I was doing the day job thing. So those are great quick breakfast ideas. They're very simple recipes in general to do, and both of them are on the main channel. So that's a fantastic way to just have breakfast quick out the door, and it's easy to customize. So that's what I would suggest. Great question. Appreciate that. Kimberly Myers here, South Carolina, and good morning. Well, good morning, Kimberly. We're really glad you're here. And Lisa Davenport is here, also from South Carolina. Hello, Lisa. It's good to see you. And then Patricia, thanks again for Mel's food video. Rosie is eating well finally, and she's happier. Patricia, I am so glad to hear that. If you guys did not know, I have a dog food recipe video that Ash actually did. She cooked for you guys where she showed you what we do with Mel with her food, because we don't feed her kibble. She was having health issues, and so we started going down a deep rabbit hole of research, and we created a dog food recipe that we make for her, and that's what she has every day. I will tell you, we do use some rice and some things in it. That is not because we think that is ideal. That's because that's what keeps her from having diarrhea or puking. And we are slowly working down off the carbs, and we will eventually, hopefully, get her to where she is meat, eggs, maybe a few little veggies, because dogs can handle that. It seems pretty good for them. Or maybe she'll be full carnivore. It's whatever is best for her. But golden retrievers have very sensitive digestive systems, and if you change their food too quickly, they get very sick. We have tried going carnivore with her. We have tried going pure keto without the rice. We have tried raw. We have tried all of it, and she gets sick with all of those things. So we have to very, very, very slowly work her down. Hopefully, eventually, we can get the rice out of her diet. But right now, that's what she does. And that food has completely changed her health. She is an ideal body weight. Her blood work is the best the vet has ever seen. That's a quote from the vet. Very, very cool. She is a very happy dog. So Patricia, I'm glad that food is working for you as well, and for Rosie. So that is good. I'm glad to hear that. Marlo is here. Good morning from Mexico. Well, hello, Marlo. Very much appreciate you tuning in from Mexico. That is awesome. I have not been to Mexico, but Ash has, and she enjoyed her trip very much. So hope you were having a wonderful day down there, my friend. My dad's saying hello, and Lynn responding. And then let's see, Beverly is here. Top of the day from Saskatchewan. Nice today, 3 Celsius. And wave to your mom. Yes. Thank you, Beverly. It's a little cool for me up there, but hey, that's cool. Lynn says, we will miss Ash. Please tell her hi. I will. She's having a good time right now. She's probably drinking, let's see, her meeting was supposed to start about the same time as this. So she's probably drinking a fancy coffee and having a good business meeting with a Bose rep. So she's probably having a good time. So Stephen Stone is here. Hi from Corpus Christi. Hello, Stephen. Really glad you're here, my friend. And Liza Jane is here. Cool. Marla Wilson. I have no idea how to pronounce that properly. Kellim, I don't know. Yucatan, near Merida. Wow, there's a lot of, I need to work up on my linguistics for that part of the world, I guess. But Liza Jane, glad you are here, and very cool Tierra Libre is hello from Spain. Well, hello, Tierra. Thank you for being here. If you guys have not yet, please hit that thumbs up button and let us know you are here in the chat. If you have questions, please let me know before I dive into my subject today. My mom says she wishes she could read lips. Very, very funny. Let's see. CM Cakes, thank you. We'll try them out. Well, you're very, very welcome. I hope that you enjoy that recipe. Seriously, it is one of my absolute favorites for like a quick on-the-go breakfast. Very, very simple and easy to customize however you like it. So you can put in whatever works for your version of the proper human diet. So Sandy K is here, morning from Detroit Metro. Hi, Sandy. Really glad you're here. And let's see, Rosalind Beverly. Hi, Chris. Hello, Rosalind. Glad you're here. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Everybody just saying hello to everybody. This is what makes me so happy about doing this. When I started all of this, I created this channel because I wanted a community that would help keep me accountable, that I could rely on, that would help me get through my issues of carb addiction and the things that I was struggling with as I began my proper human diet journey. And you guys are doing that not only for me, but for each other in the comment section. And it just means so much to know that we have created this amazing community. That's why I love doing this. And that's why I love all of you guys being here. So please continue to support each other, talk in the comments, and hit that thumbs up button. And let's just try to grow this community, right? So if you guys are just joining, don't forget the link is going to be in the description for the Chris Cooking Nashville Studios channel. So if you're watching this on my main Chris Cooking Nashville channel, which is the one that has like 108,000 subscribers, please go over to the Studios channel and subscribe to that one as well if you like stuff like this, because in the future, that's where these are always going to be hosted. I'm just using the big channel right now to get the word out that I'm doing this so that you guys know that that's going to be over there on the other channel. So please go subscribe to that. And if you don't mind in the future, watch this on the Chris Cooking Nashville Studios channel, because that will make a huge difference. So appreciate you guys. Liza Jane says, you're looking great, Chris, making more and more progress, aren't you? Thank you so much. Yes, I am actually. And on that note, so this shirt that I'm wearing, I had this before I did my 365 carnivore. I may have gotten this even before I did keto the first time. I can't remember exactly how long I've had this shirt, but this, when I got this, I could not button this shirt. And I want to show you guys, I'm just going to slide back here. I want to show you guys, I just put this on this morning. It's the first time I've had this shirt on in a long time. I could not button this when I used to have this because it wouldn't button. And now you can see it's actually buttonable with extra room. So yeah, I have not been on a scale in quite a while, because I honestly am at a point in my journey now. I might weigh once or twice every 4 to 6 months. I care about how I feel. I care about how my clothes fit. I care about continuing to do the right things, but I'm not focusing on every single pound anymore, because I feel so amazing. I feel like I've completely changed my life and my health. And that's what I'm staying focused on, because that makes a big difference in the long term of making this sustainable, to not be beating myself up over every single last pound. There are other things that matter way more to me than just stepping on a scale. And I would encourage you guys, not that the scale can't be a good tool, it can, but please do not become super focused on that and beat yourself up over every pound up or down, because you fluctuate and there are things that are going to move back and forth, and that's just part of it. But if you're doing what you know is the right thing and is good for you, you don't need to be on that scale every day trying to figure out if it's moving up or down, because you will get in your own head, drive yourself nuts, and completely demotivate yourself. And that is not what we want to do. We want to be able to stay motivated and stay positive about doing this so that you can be successful. So, so thank you, Liza Jane, very much. I appreciate that. Rosalind says, hi, Chris from Maryland. Thanks for the new, I think that maybe got cut off. Thanks for the pasta made with chicken. Yeah, you are welcome. That is a great recipe. If you guys haven't tried the recipe for pasta made with chicken, love that. It's probably one of the most consistently used recipes in my house. I don't make a lot of recipes other than what you guys see me doing on the channel, because I just eat pretty simply when I'm not doing recipes. But if I am going to do a recipe that's not specifically for a video, a lot of times it's that pasta, because it's so good and so adaptable to so many things. Icefire352 is here. Greetings and good morning from Florida. Hello, Icefire. I love your handle there. It's very, very cool, and I'm glad you're here. And let's see. Gentle Ginger. Missed you in Nashville. Came to the bar. Had a great time. Oh, Gentle Ginger, I'm sorry you missed us. What bar was it you came to? I'm not sure. I'm not sure which one you're referring to because we had several different shows, but I'm sorry we missed you. So I'm glad you had a good time, though, while you were here. Maritza says, share it on Facebook. Guys, this is something really cool you can do to help not only this community, but help grow this community and help who knows who else. You can hit the thumbs up button down there if you haven't already. It's underneath of the live chat. Just take that box away and you can click the thumbs up and then lift the live chat back up. But the other thing you can do while you're there is there's a share button. And if you want to share this with a friend, you can text it to them. You can put this on your social media, on Facebook, or tell people about this on X or on Instagram or wherever. You can share the fact that this is live, and I would very much appreciate that because it comes from you so much better than it does from me trying to convince people to come watch this, because if you think this is cool, your friends are going to trust that and say, okay, well, maybe I'll check it out. And that's how we help get the word out to more people. So appreciate Maritza very much for sharing this for me. And Tierra Libre is here. I agree, you are looking fantastic. Good to see. Well, thank you. I'm trying. You know, it's a journey. This is one step at a time. We go piece by piece, one step at a time, always getting better. And that's the whole point of how we do this. So CM Cake says, would love a butter cookie recipe. I've tried, but none have worked. Okay. Yeah, let me think about that. Maybe I can come up with a keto butter cookie recipe for you guys. And I don't do a lot of desserts because I just don't eat a lot of that stuff, and neither does Ash. But if there's a particular request like that, I'm certainly not against looking into it. So see what I can do. Maritza has a question here. Could you please explain the difference between the different proper human diets? Yeah, I'm more than happy to do that. So Dr. Barry is one of the people that I think has explained this better than anybody. And so I'm going to kind of paraphrase the way he describes this, because this is where I learned about this was from him. So the proper human diet is a spectrum, and it goes from the loose end up here of kind of like low carb, right? And that's just not excessive on the carbs, and, you know, meat, heavy protein, fatty meats, veggies as you can tolerate, you know, maybe a little bit of fruit kind of stuff if you can handle that, maybe some nuts and seeds if that's something you can do. And it's low carb, and I think generally low carb is kind of considered, you know, less than 100 grams a day, but it's not an exact science. It's somewhere in that range. And sometimes you'll see things like paleo and, you know, other things sort of in that general range. So that's the loose end. You go all the way down the spectrum. The other end is called lion diet, and it's basically ruminant meat, salt, and water. And it is zero carb, very strict, no plant material. The only thing you have is red meat, salt, water. And then there's a whole spectrum in between there. So starting from low carb, you have kind of that loose low carb sort of thing. And as you keep bringing your carb counts down, you get to where you kind of cut out the nuts and you cut out the seeds and you cut out, you know, the fruit, unless maybe it's a handful of berries or something like that. And you go real heavy on the protein, you get to keto. And on keto, you're trying to hit 20 grams of total carbs or less every day. And then as you go closer to like under 10 grams of carbs, you are at ketovore, where you have some plant stuff, but very little of it, and you're trying to stay under 10 grams of carbs a day. And then you get to the sort of heading into the direction of carnivore, where you're trying to stay as close to zero as you can, but specifically you're cutting out all the plant material. Now, if you want to do dirty carnivore, like I tend to do, that leans back in the direction of ketovore, where you use some spices, you might use some herbs, things like that. Maybe occasionally you do step into ketovore and you have, you know, that kind of stuff. Maybe you use some keto sweeteners occasionally. It kind of is up to you. And this is customizable for everyone who is trying to figure out how they feel best. It's their whole thing. And then you move from dirty carnivore into clean carnivore, where it is meat, eggs, so any animal meat. This is beef, chicken, pork, fish, seafood, any of that stuff. Eggs, some dairy if you can tolerate it. So aged cheeses, heavy cream, the fattiest dairy is the best, and even better if you can have dairy that has been fermented or processed. So like maybe kefir, if it's like really good processed full fat kefir, you could have something like that maybe. And again, it's all customizable. Aged cheeses like aged cheddar and Parmesan and things that are hard aged cheeses, if you can handle dairy. Some people have to cut out the dairy entirely. Butter, animal fats, that kind of stuff. Then you get into super, super strict carnivore, which is basically meats, salts, no dairy, and doing, like animal fats for cooking, butter, beef tallow, lard, that kind of stuff. Then you go into like no seafood, no pork, maybe no chicken, kind of depends on how you feel best, where you get into all of the ruminant meats and your salts. And then you're basically down there to lion diet, where it's red meat, salt, and water. And whether you have things like coffee or tea, somewhere along that whole spectrum, that's kind of up to you. That's an N=1 experiment. And there's a whole spectrum, because everybody is genetically a little bit different as to what they can handle and how they feel best. So experiment, figure out where you feel best, and support and love people, because we don't need to be dogmatic about these things. We can promote what we think is the best, but tearing other people down because they don't do it the way we do it, that's not cool. And unfortunately, that's something I see a lot in the community, is people trying to do that, who are very strict and they want to tear other people down for not being as strict as they are. And it's just not cool. So support each other. And that's kind of what we're talking about today, is how we can support each other, and who are the people who can really support us. So thank you, Maritza. Great question. Lewis Stone says, streaming both channels. I appreciate that, Lewis. Thank you very, very much. Really glad you are here from California. Maggie, the substitute teacher. If you guys do not know about Maggie, please go subscribe to her channel. She is very sweet, and she gave me a super chat, which is amazing. That just helps so much to keep the channels running. I'm not a wealthy man, and this is my full-time job. And I appreciate the support from the community, because it's the only way that I have the time to do this. Because I used to work 4 jobs. Now I work 3, because I was able to quit the day job and do this full time. But that's why I can do so much more of this now, because normally I would be at work right now in the past. But in the last few months, I have been doing this instead, because I don't go to a day job anymore. I can put my full focus here and into music with Ash, and doing things like teaching guitar lessons and, the different things that I do. So Maggie, thank you so much. And I really appreciate you. We care about these incredible recipes. Thank you. Well, thank you. You guys do not subscribe to Maggie, the substitute teacher. You should. She does a bunch of recipe testing of other people's recipes, and not just keto carnivore, but with all sort of different dietary things in mind. So it's great for informational purposes. Even if you don't eat everything that she would be cooking, it's really cool just to get feedback on different kinds of recipes and other creators. She also has things that have nothing to do with the kitchen. They have all of these social elements, and I've seen things like sort of like etiquette, and things with family dynamics, and all sorts of stuff. She has great information. She's an absolute sweetheart. We love Maggie and support her channel. So if you haven't subscribed, please go subscribe to her channel after this live stream, because she is wonderful. Maggie, thank you, and good morning. I'm so glad you're here. Let's see. Liza Jane says, found the other channel. Do you get comments from both? I do. So I'm streaming to both, which brings both comments into a single location for me. So I see comments from both channels. So thank you very much. Appreciate you finding that other channel. Lewis says, we need to realize that we have been hurting our bodies for years, even decades. It is going to take some time to heal. There will be ups and downs. Absolutely. I could not agree with you more. And that's why this is not a race. It is not a sprint. This is a marathon. And we very, very gently heal our bodies and do what works best for us along the way, so we feel good and we live our best life. Amen, Lewis. Love it. Martha is here. Good morning from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Love your recipes. Thank you, Martha. I'm so glad you're here. And Angel 12824 is here. Awesome. Congratulations on your weight loss so far. Well, thank you, Angel. I appreciate that. Very, very much appreciated that you are here. And Jolene says, amen. No tearing down. I'm right there with you. And Maritza says, thanks for the explanation. You're welcome. And Jolene says, can't see Maggie's channel name. Can you put it in the chat? Yes. Let me see if I can get a hold of the keyboard here, and I will drop that in for you. And this is Maggie, the substitute teacher, is the name of the, yes, that's the name of her channel, Maggie, the substitute teacher. So unfortunately, I don't have a moderator in here. I need to get a couple of moderators who can attend these live streams with me to do things like drop links into the comments for you guys. Because if I close my window here, it may bug out and totally disconnect me. So I don't want to go clicking everything. But if I get some moderators that could jump in this with us every Monday. By the way, if you guys are like here every single Monday and you're like, yeah, I'll totally be a moderator. I know how to drop links in the comments or hide a troll or, something like that. If we have problems, if you'd like to do that, shoot me an email, info@chriscookingnashville.com. Let me know, and maybe we can get a couple of people to be moderators. That would probably be a good thing because we're doing so much of this stuff now. I would very much like someone, a couple of people maybe who could do the Mondays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, and maybe a couple of people who could do the Tuesday cooking live streams on the main channel on Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, yeah. Let's see. Here's to Our Health says, Asheville, North Carolina area and past the exit for the venue where you and Ash performed back in August. Very cool. That was a beautiful area. I believe that venue was damaged very badly by the hurricane. So hoping they get it all put back the way it should be. But I'm hoping that venue will rebuild what they need to and they will be there. So Lewis Stone says, let's see if this works. Well, whatever it is you're doing, I think it works. So I don't know. I'm not sure what you're doing, Lewis, but hopefully it's working. Very cool. So guys, let me talk about what's going on with my actual subject matter today. So the title of this is Those Who Care the Most Can Change You the Most. And what do I mean by that? The reason that I found keto and then eventually carnivore, I learned most of what I know about all of this stuff from Dr. Berry. But that's not the reason I found keto and carnivore. And I didn't find keto and then eventually carnivore of my own research. I have done a bunch of research on it, but that is not because I was out looking for my own help. Lewis says, I tried to post a link to Maggie, didn't work. Yeah, Lewis, live chat on YouTube will not let you post links unless you are a moderator that's approved to do so, unfortunately. So it's, unfortunately, it's just a thing that you won't be able to do unless you were a moderator. So, but I appreciate you trying. So, I found keto and carnivore because my parents found keto and carnivore. And actually, if my dad is still watching, where did you hear about keto the first time? Because I'm curious. I'm sure you've told me, but I don't remember offhand where you found keto. So if you are still in the chat, tell everybody where you heard about keto from the first time. But the reason I know about keto and then carnivore is because my dad was telling me about keto and he was telling me about Dr. Berry. And it took me a while to kind of come around to figure out that this was something maybe I should do. But I found this because someone who cared about my well-being cared enough to tell me that I should be taking care of myself and that I would benefit from this thing called keto. And he explained, go watch Dr. Berry, go watch this. Here's some recipes. Here's some things. And it was a long period of time that I did research and that I've learned this a little at a time and all this kind of stuff. That is how I got into doing keto. And the reason I'm talking about this is because when we were at Keto Palooza here a few weeks back up in Louisville, Dr. Barry did a talk, and he was talking about how we get this information out there. And to paraphrase, he was talking about how the medical system, by the time they learn stuff and they get information and then they put it in the literature and then it gets disseminated to the doctors and then doctors actually put it into their practice, he's like, it's just the way the system works. It's going to be 20 years before anyone actually really sees results of that in patients. And he's like, how many people need to suffer and die over the next 20 years before we find out that we can actually heal ourselves by changing the way we eat? And so he's like, stop waiting for doctors and the government and big pharma and all this other stuff to solve problems, and instead fix your health with a proper human diet, and then go out and find the people around you that you care about and vocally and publicly tell people about this and try to help and save the people you love. That was the whole point. That was the whole thing. So I started looking into all of this because my dad did that for me, because I was overweight. I was struggling. I was almost 400 pounds. I probably was 400 pounds at some point. If you go back and see some of my posts with before and after pictures, like, it was really bad. And I was miserable and I was struggling. And so he told me about this. I was desperate for a solution, and I went to find a solution. And my dad showed me this, and I started researching. I found Dr. Barry through my dad. I had all of this information that helped so much. And I was able to learn what it took to change my life, because people like Dr. Barry put that information out there. But it was my dad who was able to introduce me to this the first time. And he says, found it just researching and was feeling bad. I found Dr. Barry, and that started the real research rabbit hole. Right. So my dad was feeling bad and was researching, and someone else out there was talking about keto and carnivore and stuff. That stuff popped up as he was researching. I'm feeling bad. What do I do? So that's why this information matters so much. And instead of the people in your life having to feel so sick and so desperate that they're just Googling and hopefully they randomly stumble on a proper human diet and find Dr. Barry or my recipes or whoever else that might be helpful, Dr. Baker, Dr. Chafee, Two Crazy Ketos, Dr. Kiltz. I mean, there's so many places. Whoever it is that can help them, instead of hoping that they're just going to stumble on that randomly, let's be the people who care the most and find the people in our lives that care, that we care about, that need this. And let's gently encourage them by sharing this information with them and say, listen, I love you. I want you to be healthy. Would you look into this and just do some research and maybe try it? Try it for 30 days. See if you feel better for 30 days. Just about, unless you have some serious medical thing. Now, I don't give medical advice. I'm not a doctor, so this is not medical advice. Talk to your doctor. But generally speaking, I think most doctors would probably say that if you are metabolically not in a place where you're about to drop tomorrow, right? Like, you can do some things, you should be able to, for 30 days, try something like a carnivore diet or a really good, clean keto diet. You can try it and you can see if it makes a difference. N equals 1 experiment. Better yet, do it for 90 days, really commit to it, and really let your body do what it needs to do and just see. Now, it's going to take research. You need the time. You need to learn what that means, all this kind of stuff. But you can totally do this and you can see what it does for you. It's exactly what I did. And the change was so intense and amazing that I fully bought into it. And I was like, this is the answer. This is what I've been looking for. This can change my life. And here I am, and it totally has. And I still have more to lose, and I still have other health things that I'm working on. And that's okay. Because now I have the answers, and I'm moving in the right direction. And it's going to be so fantastic for me. Let's see. Carrie is here, says, darn, I caught alive and there isn't any cooking. Well, Carrie, that's true, but the food is, although it's very important, it is not the only thing that matters. And I'm very glad that you're here. And thank you for being here. I think a cooking live stream at 10 in the morning would probably drive my wife crazy. If I said, hey, we need to start doing a cooking live stream at 10 in the morning, she'd be like, why are you doing this to me? So she's the one holding the camera the whole time. So we do these. Normally I do these, Carrie, just on the Chris Cooking Nashville Studios channel, which is linked in the description box. But if you like videos like this, click that link, go to that channel and subscribe there, because these kinds of videos are on that channel. And eventually that's the only place I'll do these, but I'm doing them currently. I'm starting to do these on the main channel as well, because I'm trying to get more people to recognize that that is over there, because it's hard to grow a YouTube channel. And it helps so many more people to be able to put this on both channels right now, to help people find out that that other channel exists, so I can get subscribers over there and we can get people watching, and then that kicks in the algorithm, and then people find it on YouTube. And it's a whole thing. I'm just trying to get that word out to as many people as possible so we can help as many people as possible. And that's why I'm doing this on both channels right now. So that's why there's no cooking. Normally I don't do that on this channel, but for a little while I'm going to try to help more people find the channel over there, Chris Cooking Nashville Studios, which is linked below. Please go subscribe if you guys don't mind. Also hit that thumbs up, let YouTube know this is a good video and that this is important, because you guys telling YouTube it's great is the only way this gets out to more people so we can help people. Reese's Cluttered Kitchen is here, says hello all, good morning. Easy Peasy Keto is here, good morning. Says good morning family, coming for the weekend, and we will be feeding them your mock shrimp and cheese and also your chicken noodles. Will be a carnivore weekend with keto chow used too. That is amazing. I'm so glad. That's why I love making these recipes, because I hear these stories about how people use it in their real lives, and it just means the world. Carrie says, I know about keto from Two Crazy Ketos, and then also carnivore from Dr. Barry and Nisha, and there are others as well. Carrie, that's awesome. Now I'm curious, were you just researching and randomly found Two Crazy Ketos and Dr. Barry and Nisha and keto and carnivore, or did someone tell you about keto and carnivore and then you started to go research it, and then you found Two Crazy Ketos and Dr. Barry and Nisha? I'm curious which order that happened in. Let's see. Jolene says, don't forget to hit the like button. Yes, Jolene, appreciate that very much. Lynn says, thank you, Dad Delisle. Not only did you help Chris, but that means you're also the reason we are all here today, being a caring community and listening to Chris. Yes, my dad is a very big piece of why Chris Cooking Nashville exists, because he cared enough about my health to tell me about keto. And when I started fixing my own health, I was able to take it from there and do amazing things. You guys have the power to do this. That's why the title of this is Those Who Care the Most Can Change You the Most, because those who care about you can kindly and gently encourage you to take back your health, give you information. You can use that information, and then boom, suddenly your life changes. And then look what it did for me. And now here I am doing what Dr. Barry says to do, which it's like, in his information, he's like, if you feel like I've done something that has changed your life by putting out the information about keto and carnivore I do, what I want you to do is go pay it forward and now use it to change the lives of everyone you can. And I'm doing exactly that. I just happen to be doing it with a YouTube channel because that's a thing I'm passionate about. You guys don't have to have a YouTube channel. You can go to all the people in your life, in your church, in your book club, in your library, in your community center, in your school, wherever you are, your coworkers, everything. People around you are going to notice the change. And when they ask you about it, or when you have the chance to bring it up in conversation politely, you can tell people what you're doing, and it just helps spread the word. Now, the key there is do this gently and do it politely, because we don't want to preach at people. We don't want to beat them down, and we don't want to tell them, you're fat, let me help you fix it. That doesn't work. I've had people do that to me. Guess what? It never motivated me to change anything. So kindness, politeness. Remember, those who care the most can change you the most. And for that to be the case, you have to be the one who cares the most. And people who care don't beat you up for everything you're doing wrong. Now, they don't lie to you and say, oh, you're fine, just eat whatever you want. They don't lie to you about that, but they also don't just beat you up for it. And that's really important. So love people. Carrie says, I was doing a low carb and meat and was eating a lot of low carb veggies And when my body messed up with this, then I went looking for, and when I started eating liver again from Dr. Barry. Okay, so how did you hear about low carb? I'm sort of backtracking, trying to figure out, like, were you eating a standard American diet and then suddenly something happened where you got into low carb and then eventually keto and carnivore, and like, what was your progression like that? Because usually there's some instance where you're doing something and then it change and you go, oh, I heard about blah, blah, blah. I'm going to start doing research. And I think those stories are so cool. My dad says, thanks, Lynn. Chris gets the credit because maybe his mom and I pointed it out. He took the ball and ran with it. Now he teaches us. Well, I appreciate that, Dad. My parents they care, and they encouraged me and then gave me some information that started the whole thing. And yeah, I mean, we get the credit for changing our own health when we do the work. But the people that care about us also get the credit for caring enough to tell us about it. If you guys really want to change the world one plate at a time, like I'm trying to, and you want to be a part of this community with me doing this, that's how we do it. It makes a huge difference. Carrie says, and that helped a lot of stuff, and then I looked more. Totally. Jolene says, I have a weekly small group to share low carb lifestyle. That's amazing. What a great idea. Find a group of people that want to be a part of this with you and have a small group where you share this kind of stuff. That's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. What a great way to do this. Maritza says, I learned about the channels from you and have subscribed to these channels. Amazing. And that's why I do this. Someone like Maritza, who found my channel, then goes and finds other people's channels. And when you find other people's channels, well, you learn information there, and then you find more things. And so it just leads you down this rabbit hole. It's a domino effect. And that's why what I do is something I'm so passionate about. And I just care so much about what I'm doing mattering. Ash and I were talking about this last night. We got home from the show, and she had a show last night. Actually, I played with her, so I guess we had a show last night. But we had a show yesterday, and then we went out to dinner afterwards at Edley's Barbecue. If you're in Nashville, Edley's is amazing. You can buy meat by the pound. It's perfect. So we went out to dinner. We came back, and as we were driving home from dinner, we got talking about this, and we were having this conversation, and it was like, I want to do something with my life that I can buy into. I want something to matter. I want what I do to help people. That's the most important thing in the world to me. If I'm giving away my time for something I don't buy into and I don't care about, then why am I doing it? Like, what would be the purpose of that? That feels like a waste of time. And it's like, you want to talk about something that makes you feel depressed? I felt really depressed because I felt like I was trading my life for a paycheck for something I didn't care about. And sometimes we got to do that because we need money to survive, for sure. But what if you can do the things you need to do to pay your bills, but it makes a difference in the world? And that's why I do what I do, because it makes a difference. People came up to me at Keto Palooza telling me real stories of, this is what this recipe does, or this is why I love this, or here's how I use that, or here's what I think of this, whatever. It meant the world to me. It was so humbling to have people tell me that what I do actually makes a difference in their life. Like, what an amazing thing. What a blessing for me to get to do what I do. Have real people come up and say, thank you for what you do because it meant this to me. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing that makes me so, so happy. It's worth my time. It's worth my effort because it helps people. And it's amazing. And the fact that I'm blessed to get to pay my bills in the process is wonderful. And that's why things like the super chat from Maggie, that's why that matters so much, because, I'm giving everything I've got to this, and just being able to pay my bills because people support what we do, because it means something to their life. Like, that's the most humbling thing in the world. And that's why we just love you guys, and we try to do everything we can. So thank you guys for everything you do. Let's see. So Patricia says, the ones you love and their doctors can't always hear you, and you have to let it go. Absolutely. Sometimes people are not ready to hear what you're going to say. And so the only thing you can do is continue to set the silent example, love them, care about them, encourage them. But don't take that personal and don't get angry. Everyone's on their own journey. And you have to realize, There was a time where you probably couldn't hear this either. There was a time when I certainly couldn't hear this. It was the right time for me to hear it when I heard it. And when I was ready to change, I was ready to listen. And sometimes you can't force people to listen to you. You have to gently encourage them to listen to you. So it's an important thing, but it's a great point, Patricia. Jolene says, Mom and Dad want to adopt a daughter? There we go. Okay, so Maritza says, I found keto from a Facebook group by Christy Sullivan and have quite a few cookbooks from her. Very cool. So social media. You're on social media, you find something about keto, and now look where Maritza is, and she knows all these channels, has all this information, and is learning all this stuff. That's why you guys sharing my videos, sharing Dr. Barry's videos, whoever you watch. That's why sharing this on social media and with your friends matters so much, because when you find this kind of stuff in those places, you're a lot more willing to look at it than when someone just beats you over the head with it, or especially if you pop on my channel and I'm like, you need to be keto and carnivore, and here's why. People understandably are very skeptical of that. They're like, what are you selling? Why do you want my attention? I don't believe you. Like that's the natural response most people have. So when you guys share this, people are much more likely to see it and consider it. So you guys are the real key to how this community moves forward. Carrie says, I did do a lot of SAD diet, and then when I was overweight during the Big C, I found Dr. Living Good, and he had a low carb, and then had to change, went with Dr. Barry and 2 crazy ketos with carnivore, 4-year carnivore. That's amazing. That's amazing. I've been 4 years carnivore. This past 21st of October, when I finally found carnivore from just doing the N=1 from Nisha, I have lost a lot of weight and gained mobility. Carrie, that's amazing. So, you run across something, probably social media or somewhere else online, probably because people are sharing it and dropped in the algorithm, and then you were able to change your life. I mean, it led to a whole series of events. That's why you guys sharing, hitting the thumbs up button, commenting, telling people about this, gently helping. Like, you guys are the change. You are the reason that this happens. You are the reason this movement works. People like Dr. Barry putting out the information he does, Nisha talking about the coaching she does, their private group, my channel with the recipes, any of the other doctors or influencers. The only reason it works is because you guys are the ones that drive it. You are the fuel and the engine that moves the vehicle of this movement forward. And that's why we appreciate you so much. That's why I'm always here for you guys. I apologize. Allergies are horrible in Nashville right now. The last couple of days, I have been struggling. So, but the coffee hits right. John says, for me, it was being diagnosed type 2 diabetic, and metformin didn't agree with me, so I searched alternative type 2 treatments, which brought me to Dr. Barry's video, Cure Type 2 Diabetes in 6 months. John, that's amazing. What a fantastic thing for you to be able to say, this doesn't work for me. My doctors are not giving me the information I need here. I need to go find an alternative treatment. And then you find someone like Dr. Barry that has amazing stuff. This is why I am a member of his tribe. This is why I do private cooking live streams in the Dr. Barry group. If you guys didn't know, I do that. I think it's like $15 a month or something to join now. It's not much money. And you get a whole series of extra things. There's a whole community that can be so helpful to you. And the thing is, if you don't want to be a part of his group, that's fine. You can go watch his videos. He puts them all out for free. You just don't get the live access to him the day that he interviews people, but you still find all of his information for free. If you want direct one-on-one type help from him or his coaches, who are all amazing people, by the way, you can join the group. And if not, you can still watch all of his stuff for free. It's one of the reasons I love Dr. Barry and everything he and Nisha do. That's why I care so much for them and try to support them so much. And that's why they're friends. They're like family to us. And we love them and everything they do. So hopefully Dr. Barry will see this at some point and realize I'm saying that. But if you guys aren't part of his group, you should totally go join. I believe they're open for new membership now. Because they were kind of redoing some stuff. I think the structure within the app of the group and everything, and so they shut it down just temporarily to kind of get everything going. But I think it's open back up now. And if you want to come over there and get even more information and support, great. And if not, you can still use this stuff for free and change your health, just like John. It's amazing. Let's see what else we got going on here. John also says, that started my keto journey. Then I started searching keto recipes, which brought me to 2 Crazy Ketos and others, including you. Well, John, I am so glad that you found us, and I'm very glad you're here. So thank you, John, for being a part of our community. And congratulations for doing what you need to do to change your health and get your diabetes and all that under control and eventually cure it. And I don't know if you, let's see, actually right there, I see you say, by the way, my A1C was in the normal range after 6 months of keto and ketovore. 6 months of keto and ketovore, and John reversed his type 2 diabetes. Now, I'm pretty sure all the doctors out there that do things like prescribe metformin and tell you we'll eat lots of whole grains, I'm pretty sure they say that's impossible. You draw your own conclusions. Unbelievable. It's amazing, John. So glad you're here. Thank you for sharing that, because that's amazing. It really, really is amazing. Let's see here. My comment section jumped on me, so give me just a minute. Okay. Maritza says, I can't wait for you to be able to come out with a cookbook. Yes. So actually, I am talking with some people who are in the know of how to get things like book publishing and distribution and the graphic design type layout elements, talking with some people who can help with all that. So we are moving forward to get all of the ducks in a row so that I can begin to write a cookbook. So it's in the plans. We just got to get it all figured out. So let's see. Very cool. Maritza says, I started at 265 and now I am at 195. Rock on, Maritza, and rock on, John. I forgot to give you a rock on. Everybody in the comments, rock on for John and Maritza. I started at 265. Now I'm at 195 and gone 6 months without seizures, but my seizures came back after receiving the vaccine. I understand. I'm sorry about that. I don't know enough about the science of all of that or the medical side of any of that to say much, other than I'm very proud of you for going from 265 to 195 and continue doing the right stuff. And hopefully those seizures will go back away. We'll pray that they do. Reese's Cluttered Kitchen says, I found Dr. Barry, Nisha, Anita, all from Indigo Neely. Found you from Anita, Chris. Allergies aren't just bad in Nashville, here in New Jersey too. Yeah, they're kind of bad everywhere, I think, with the way the weather's been the last couple of days. But well, Arisa, I am so glad you found us all. And this is what I'm saying. You just leapfrog from one thing to the next. And that's why sharing all this stuff matters so much. It's why all of us as creators shout each other out when we know there's good information that can help people. Dr. Barry and Nisha have been very supportive of me, shared a bunch of my stuff, asked me to come be a part of the live streaming, like private live stream stuff in their group. Like that was by their request. They're just amazing. They're wonderful, wonderful people. And they have been so supportive of what I do. It's really amazing. They're really great. And that's the reason so much of what I'm doing gets to so many people, because of people like them, people like you guys sharing what I do. And that's why I love doing this. And I love this community. Reese's Cluttered Kitchen has been sneezing and coughing a lot, especially at work. Yeah, same here. Barry Weems is here. Good morning, Barry. Very glad to see you, my friend. So glad you are joining us. Let's see. John says, metformin made me feel horrible, nauseous all day. I stayed on it a week before looking for alternatives. Yeah, that's the other thing, guys. There's all these medications out there, but if you read the information that doctors have to have you sign, there's a whole list of side effects. And I remember Dr. Barry was actually talking about this in a live stream, and then said that there are doctors, I think it was him, maybe it was someone in the comment section, I can't remember, but someone said that doctors basically say, I think it was Dr. Barry was saying that there's actual documentation of this, of doctors saying, we don't really want to have to tell everyone all of the side effects of medication, because if we do, they probably won't take it. Informed consent is the whole thing he was talking about. If you don't want to take the medication because of all the potential side effects, it probably seems like something you should know. So that's why a proper human diet is so handy, because guess what? The only side effects a proper human diet has is feeling good and healing a bunch of stuff. It's amazing. Donna, this is a great thing. What do I say to families and friends who say they support me but get annoyed if I don't eat out with them, etc.? Remind them that if I ate ice cream all the time, they would tell me it's bad for my health. Donna, I think this is a hard thing. And this is why my recipes are something that I do and why it's something I care about. There is a social side to food. Right or wrong, I'm not defending the fact that there's a social and cultural element here. I'm just saying there is. Whether that's right or wrong, there just is. We have to figure out how to navigate that. So here's the thing. If you don't want to eat out with your family and friends, it's not really about whether you're eating the food most of the time. It's more about the fact that you're not going with them. Or if you are going with them, they feel like they're the outsider compared to you because they're looking at your example and realizing they're not doing it. Usually that's kind of what's going on with people. So I think the question that you have to ask yourself is, how do I not compromise on the food that I eat without putting a social and cultural pressure on the people around me to have to cater to my own choice? So here's what I mean. If you're going to go out to dinner with people and you go, well, we can't eat here because they don't have anything I can have, and I can't eat there, and I can't eat there, and I don't want to go here, and I don't want to go. Well, then it starts becoming all about you, right? And that's frustrating and annoying for people who don't make the same choice you do, because then their life is being dictated by your choice. Now, maybe that's not happening, but that is one thing that can happen. Another thing that can happen is if you go out to dinner and you eat something that to them seems weird, and then it makes them question looking at their own plate, like, why am I eating all of this? I'm not as good at Donna. Well, now I'm upset because Donna makes me feel bad. Then it becomes your job as someone who is trying to encourage and politely support your family and friends to say, hey, this is what works best for my health. It's just about me feeling good. I'm not judging you for not eating the way that I do. I would encourage you to try it because I think you'd feel really great. But I'm not looking down on you. I don't think any differently of you if you don't eat the same way I do. That's a very different narrative than, well, I can't go here because I do this. Do you know what you're eating? That's not good for you. Like, I'm not saying you're doing this, Donna, but I'm saying, ask yourself, how are you coming across to them as someone who's eating what is right for your body that makes them annoyed by it? Because if you're getting healthy and you feel great, family and friends should be happy for you. But if what you're doing is putting some social or cultural pressure on them that they feel somehow like they can't live up to something for you, then maybe that's a conversation that needs to happen. And maybe that's something you might need to look at in your own self and say, how am I presenting this to people? And maybe you're not doing anything wrong at all. Maybe it's just your family and friends who have a problem. And that's perfectly possible. It's just something I think you have to be objective and you have to look at. How are you speaking to the people around you? Because if you sit down with people at a table and they go to eat potatoes and you go, oh my gosh, I can't eat those because that's terrible. I've had people do that to me. I've seen other people do it to their own families. And I'm like, that's not helping. That's not kindness. That's not encouraging people. That's beating people up because they don't do it the way you do. And quite honestly, that sort of approach that I've seen in people, that dogmatic, I'm going to tell you why what you're doing is wrong sort of thing. I mean, that's arrogant and ignorant. And quite honestly, it's real hypocritical because all of us have come to this way of life, generally speaking, because we didn't used to be this way, because we didn't know. And then someone told us, and once we knew to do better. But if you don't know how to do better, you can't be blamed for not doing better. So how can you be the encouragement that makes them feel good about going to dinner with you, that they can take inspiration from you? Or what if you eat before you go and you say, hey, there might not be anything at this restaurant for me, but I love going and having the social aspect with you guys. I'm going to eat something before we go, and I'm going to come and sit with you. And that's totally okay. Just ask yourself, is it about you or is it about them? And you may not be doing anything wrong. I'm not saying you are. Just some things to think about, because it's things that I've seen people do. It's things I'm guilty of doing at times. And I really had to change that. And then once I did, and I realized, oh, that's not really cool. The way I'm treating people and the way I'm speaking to people about this is not very kind. And then I'd gone off the rails and I came back to carnivore. And that's when I started the channel, because I was like, I need help from a community and I need to be a good influence on a community. That's important. So just ask, how can you do the same? I think that's what you say to your family and friends, and figure out what is their real issue. Is it that they are just not concerned about your well-being? Or is it perhaps the way that you come across to them makes them feel like there's a pressure on them that they didn't ask for? And if that's the case, then just figure out how you can tell them, hey, I don't judge you for that. It's okay. We're friends. We're family. We can still go out to dinner. I might not eat anything because I feel my best not doing that, but that's okay. By the way, can I tell you why I do that? And maybe someday you might try it too. I think it's as simple as that. But then again, I'm not there with you, so I can't say that for sure. That's just my feelings. Lillian is here. Hi, Lillian. Very good to see you. Hope you're doing well today. Martha is here. She says, I've had 3 major back surgeries, 2 knee replacements, 1 shoulder repair, and need the other shoulder worked on, but I'm trying to avoid any other surgeries. Carnivore, baby. That would be my recommendation for that, just because of, and again, I'm not a doctor. I'm just saying carnivore, strict carnivore if you can, because I have heard so many stories of people who have either had very quick recovery from surgeries, they've had pain go away. Some of them have canceled surgeries because the pain has gone away because they eat a carnivore diet. And you might be one of those people. So carnivore is great for your joints. Just something to think about there. So John says, I'm still listed and treated as type 2, but my A1C has been normal for over 2 years now. A1C is 5.3. John, that's incredible. Rock on to you, my friend. I feel like, and you'd have to double check with this, but I feel like Dr. Berry has said that if you have a normal A1C, that you can require them to remove that from your file. I'm not sure about that. You have to look into that, but if you can get the type 2 diagnosis removed, rock on. But regardless, the fact that you have a 5.3 A1C, good for you. That's amazing. Ray Bird is here. I have CRPS, and I was in a wheelchair 2.5 years ago and applied for the MAID MAID program, medically assisted death. Yesterday, I walked 7.5 kilometers. I'm so grateful this community saved them. Guys, proper human diet. I mean, how do you look at someone who says this and say, oh, that can't be good for you? These are the kinds of stories that matter. This is why we do what we do. This is why I have recipes, to try to encourage people to give this kind of lifestyle a try. Maybe the recipes aren't something that you do for the rest of your life, but if they can help you transition from a standard diet to this kind of result, I mean, look at Ray Bird right here talking about this. That's incredible. Rock on. Rock on. Amazing. Man. Caddy is here, says, Chris, you the man when it comes to cooking, keto and keto cooking. Thank you. Well, thank you. You are very kind. I just do the best that I can and try to put out good stuff because people need solutions. If meat, salt, water is the most ideal diet, that's great. That doesn't help billions of people that are sick and dying and unwilling to try because carnivore seems crazy to them. But if you can give them some recipes that they might be willing to try, and suddenly they start feeling better, and then maybe they go the route of being more and more strict carnivore as they go, maybe that's how we save the world. That's what I'm here for. I'm just trying to save the world, one plate, one person at a time, one recipe at a time. That's why I do what I do. And you guys are the driving force behind it by liking, sharing, hitting the thumbs up button, all of that stuff, subscribing to the studio's channel so I can do more interview type stuff and get that out to a larger audience. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see. Martha says, my son and daughter were both doing carnivore and convinced me to try the carnivore diet. Have been doing ketovore for the past year, following Dr. Barry, which is how I found you. Martha, that's amazing. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Son and daughter both doing carnivore. Hey, mom, you should totally try this. It'll make you feel better. And it's like, my kids, what do they know, right? But then you start to think, well, maybe they're doing this. They say it's great. I'm going to give it a try. And here you are. That is how the people that care the most can change you the most. Well, let's see. Carrie says, people here in Texas are going through allergies as well. We've gone 40 days without any rain. Hopefully we get some rain soon. Woo, yeah. John makes a great point. Many of the meds are worse than the disease it was meant to treat. I totally agree, John. And listen, if there's no other option and you've tried everything, sure. I mean, meds, maybe they save your life. I'm not saying medical intervention is never an option, but why are meds our first option when we can treat so many things by just stopping putting toxins in our body and stopping with the carbs that are damaging it? It's really something. This right here is why I do the recipes I do. Martha says, you have made the transition so much easier with all the recipes you provide that make the meals seem so normal cooking for others. Thank you for all you do. Martha, thank you. That is why recipes matter. Do you need recipes to be carnivore? Absolutely not. You can eat steaks every day, beef patties every day. And this is what dogmatic people that beat up on recipes or tell you you're doing it wrong or whatever, this is what people like that don't understand. That's not the way you should do it. Okay, well, how does that help all of the people out there who think you're crazy? I said this in a live stream once before and everybody thought it was funny. I'm going to say it again because I've been told I need to make a t-shirt. Do you want to help people or do you want to be a douche? Because if you're beating people up, they're not doing it right. And they're not doing it the way you do it. And they don't need all of that because they're using things to transition. They're trying to change their life one step at a time. If you beat them up for that, you're not trying to help people. It's all about your ego. So if you're a dogmatic carnivore that wants to beat people up, you might as well get lost because we don't do that. Now, if you're promoting, hey, a strict carnivore diet would be better for you, this is what it will do for you, and I'd like to encourage you to consider that and try it, that's totally different. Again, that's flipping the narrative. I'm encouraging you because I care, and I'm trying to help you, and I'm trying to show you, I'm so glad you're changing your life. Here's the next level that you can move to that will help improve it even more. That's a completely different thing. That I'm all for. Let's see. Reese's Cluttered Kitchen has a great idea. Donna Mae, why don't you pick the restaurant and that way you can go to a place that has foods that you can pick easily and you can eat the proper human diet. It's the friendship that is important, not what you eat. Absolutely. And if they don't want to go to the restaurants that you like to go to, eat ahead of time and make it to where it's not about you because, again, it's about the friendship, not the food. And that's how you encourage people. And then when they realize you're not crazy and you just feel better and they're happy for you and you're encouraging them, then you might actually be able to inspire them to try it too. And then you have a whole crew of people who are all proper human diet friends and they can all go out to dinner together because they all like the same places. That's those ninja tactics that Dr. Barry always talks about. Let's see. Maritza says, I go out but make changes to my order or just don't eat the carbs on the plate. Perfect. That's all you got to do. It's amazing. John says, as ketovore, you can eat almost anywhere except vegan and vegetarian restaurants. You just have to order a bit different than the sad diners. I agree. And that's exactly what I do. And that's why for me, I'm carnivore, dirty carnivore, but I'm carnivore most of the time. But since I'm not doing my 365 days carnivore thing anymore, if I go out to dinner, I allow myself to be a little more keto or ketovore as necessary. I don't feel my best the next day, but I do all right. And then I just go back to carnivore the next day. And I try to get real clean carnivore for a couple of days just to feel better. Maybe I'll fast. I'm good. And it just makes it so much easier. And I never make a big deal out of it to anybody else. If we go out to dinner with people, I don't ever make a big deal out of it. It might come up in conversation and I'll talk about it, but I don't try to beat them up. I don't try to insist on where we go. If people are like, where do you want to go to eat? I know you eat special things. I'm like, no, 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 no. Wherever you want. I will figure out how to make it work wherever we go. It's not about me. That helps people listen to you and understand, because when it's not about you, suddenly they look at you a completely different way and they go, well, that's really inspiring that you want to change your health, but you don't expect to use it as a weapon against anybody else. And then they start to listen. And then you can change the world one plate at a time. And you don't have to start a YouTube channel like I did, but you can start to change people's lives. It's cool. Lynn says, I go out to eat with friends all the time. It used to bother me about food choices I just don't have in restaurants, but not anymore. There's always something I can order. And that's the key. You just figure out how to make it work. And that way your friends don't feel like you're putting the burden on them. And I think that makes a big difference to people. John says, most carbs are no longer even appetizing. I don't judge. I do what I normally do and let everyone else do what they do. Fries, potatoes, sodas, and sweets are just not for me anymore. That's a great outlook, John. You're totally nailing it. Nail on the head right there. Jackie is here, tuning in late from Oregon. I assume you already addressed the solo vid, so I can catch it on replay. Gearing up to make some Chris Cooking Nashville buns this morning. Yes, Jackie, I did. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoy making those carnivore buns today. Those things are so good. They're so good. And it makes you feel like you get to have a burger or a sandwich or a hot dog or whatever, whichever version you're making, like everybody else. And it's fun. And that's a really great way of like, go to a cookout. You don't make it about you. Just bring your hamburger buns with you. That's fun. That's a lot of fun, especially if you can get other people to try it, make extra, and they try it and they go, that's pretty good. Maybe I could do this keto or carnivore thing. And then you go, yeah, I think you probably could, especially with things like this. It's easy. And I feel so great. That's how you bring it up in conversation without people thinking you're beating them up. So Reese's Cluttered Kitchen, say to your friends and family, hey, I'm getting healthier. It is all from what I eat. Do you want me to live healthy or just want me to be out with you? Absolutely. Donna, that from Reese's Cluttered Kitchen right there is a great response. If you are not making it about you and then they're still pushing you like, well, you should eat the same things we do. That's when that kind of a response comes out really well, because then suddenly it makes them stop and say, am I expecting Donna to do what I want? Because then the tables have flipped, and then the burden and the pressure of food and social culture and all this stuff is coming from them onto you. And then you can flip that narrative and then you can talk about that. And that's fantastic response if that's the case. Donna says, thanks, that helped a lot. You're welcome, Donna. We're here to help and support you, and we just want you to be healthy and be able to also have a good social life with your friends. It's an important thing to be able to have both. So we are not science experiments. We are not soulless, emotionless machines that you just put in the right fuel and everything is perfect. It doesn't work that way. We have social lives. We have emotions. We have connection. We have tribes, culture. It matters. That's why I do recipes, because no matter how good meat and salt water is for you, maybe that's the best, maybe it's not. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to tell you how you should eat your proper human diet. But even if that's the case, you are going to cut yourself off from society if you dig your heels in every single situation. And I'm not saying you have to eat recipes, but if you stand on meat, salt, water, and you refuse to be around anyone who's not meat, salt, water, and you beat people up who aren't meat, salt, water, it's going to be you and a couple of other very miserable people that hate the rest of the world sitting together in a little circle talking about how terrible everyone else is. There's no way to live. So that's why my recipes are there as an option, not a requirement. They're there as an option for people who need them. Maritza says there's always ways to order something or change when you go out. And Reese's Clutter's Kitchen said, Maritza, exactly. You eat the meat and veg, give the carbs away, and you're still out with family and friends. Perfect. John says, I don't mind the type 2 diagnosis because I'll be able to get a CGM covered by my insurance next year. There you go. The silver lining. Love it. Everyone congratulating Raybird. It's so amazing to see someone change their life that way, just by changing their diet. Jackie says, "Wow, Raybird, we are all so glad you're still riding this planet with the rest of us. Even more so that you're feeling so much better. May God continue to bless you." Amen. Amen, Raybird. We're so happy for you and so glad you're here as part of this. John says, "Your recipes are genius level." I don't know about that, but I appreciate you very, very much, John. I constantly wonder how you figure out how to perfectly combine the weirdest ingredients to make something so delicious. Yeah, my wife does too. To be honest with you, most of the time I'm trying to figure out. My brain works in a very weird way, and the Lord has blessed me with many a divine inspiration when it comes to cooking. I think because I'm trying to help people, and He wants to help people through me. So, if you don't agree with my faith, that's cool. You don't have to, but if there's any question, but yeah, I'm just here to help people. I'm here to be as much like Jesus as I can. And even if you don't believe the same thing I believe, that's okay. I love you anyway, and I'm here to help you just the same as everybody else. So I love you because He says I should love you, and He loves you, and that's why I do what I do. So because I'm trying to do that, I imagine I get some divine inspiration that leads me in places that I wouldn't have gone on my own. Putting bologna and eggs in a blender to make refried beans in a carnivore way, I guarantee you that one didn't come from my mind. So there we go. Let's see. John says, "Steak, bacon, butter, and burgers. BBB and E is fine, but seasonings and pasta are yummy." I agree with you, man. And imagine this: if the whole world, okay, let's just play a quick thought experiment game here. If the whole world went BBBE 5 days a week, and 2 days a week they did keto or carnivore, whatever made them happy, recipe wise, dairy, even sweeteners if they wanted, as long as they weren't sugar. If the whole world did that, can you imagine in 90 days what would happen to the entire world? Can you imagine how many businesses out there that have abused people's health for profit would shut down? Can you imagine how many cattle ranchers and how many chicken farms and how many egg producers and how many small businesses that make quality product and how many healthy things that are out there that we can get locally? How much, first of all, we'd probably run out of stuff. And so it would take longer than 90 days to get the world to do that. But can you imagine how much of those businesses would flourish because everybody would be coming to purchase things? That's why we have to vote with our dollars, because we can change our lives and we can change the lives of so many other people. John says, "Meetups are great." I agree, and more details coming, but I'm working on something very special in Nashville. If you guys would be willing to drive to Nashville for a meetup, a special meetup, not anything like any kind of meetup you've ever been to, most likely, a special meetup event hosted by Chris Cooking Nashville. If you'd be willing to do that, put it in the comments. Let me know, because I'm working on something and I would like to see just what I need to be prepared for. Risa says, "My husband likes a specific Mexican restaurant. He orders for him. I order fajitas and ceviche. When the food comes, I pack up the carbs for hubby to eat at home. I don't eat it." And there you go. And look at that. You can be married to someone who doesn't eat the same way you do. And even though you don't eat those carbs, you don't have to beat him up or get a divorce over the fact that he does. There we go. Let's see. Mom is back. Dad also got me to do keto, eliminated all need for insulin. Yep, that's my mom. My dad, when he was learning about keto, encouraged her to do it, and that's what they started to do. And my mom is off her insulin. She's type 2 diabetic. She's off her insulin, working to get better. Laura says, "When you buy only for carnivore, I have shown friends the trade-off between sad. Many times I have found it is less expensive." Chris, what do you look for, and possibly the brand for sausage? Yes. So first of all, to your comment, yes, usually carnivore is less expensive because it looks more expensive on the front end. But when you buy, especially 1, maybe 2 meals worth of meat a day, eggs, cheese, whatever, you don't eat nearly as much and you're not snacking. You're not drinking sweet coffees. You're not getting sodas. You're not having snacks that are like, prepackaged. You're not eating nearly as much stuff because you're getting so much nutrition. You don't need to eat. You don't need to eat 6 times a day. You don't need to go out to dinner to 5 different places a week because you're so addicted to carbs. You got to have all these different things your brain is going crazy for. So it ends up saving you money. It does for us, for sure. So what do I look for? Possibly the brand for sausage. So for sausage is hard because they add so many fillers and so much junk to so many sausages. There is a local brand made here in Tennessee called Williams. It's the cleanest that I have found. It's not perfect, but it's not too bad. I am actually going to see if I can come up with a potential sausage recipe for you guys that would be simple to do with simple stuff, so you don't have to get like a meat grinder and a sausage stuffer and all of the equipment. Like if you want to get all the equipment, great. But if you don't, I'm going to see if I can come up with a simple recipe for making sausage at home and some different ways to use it for you guys, because I would like to do it for myself. I would love to share it with you. If you guys would like to see some sausage recipes, drop sausage in the comments. Let me know. John says, that's where I'm at the moment. I'm doing the sardine fast at the moment after realizing a bowl of salsa causes severe inflammation like I haven't felt in almost 2 years. No more large amounts of salsa for me. And there you go. And that's the N=1 experiment. Some people can eat salsa and have no problems. Wonderful. I'm happy. So happy for you. And if someone who is totally different genetically eats it and they get massive amounts of inflammation, they know that that doesn't work for them, and that's okay. And both of those people can coexist in complete peace. They can even go to dinner together. That's how we do it. Let's see. John also says, super clean sardine for a couple days to get rid of the inflammation from the salsa. Smart. John says, be flexible or you'll eventually be as miserable as vegans. Risa, Chris, I just prepped my next week by cooking up 2 containers of egg whites and froze them for future Chris Cooking Nashville recipes. I'm ready for mashed potatoes. Risa, that is brilliant. What a cool thing. So if you guys are prepping, you don't always have to do the recipe in its entirety. If you can have one of the things like the egg whites that take so long pre-done, and then you can throw together the rest of the recipe, you can meal prep things like that. I mean, that's super cool. Super, super cool. I love that. Risa is so smart. I'm so glad Risa is here. Barry, don't speak evil against each other, dear brothers and sisters. If you criticize and judge each other, then you are criticizing and judging God's law. I love it. I love it. Great, great verse, and very much appreciated, Barry. Thank you. Martha says, would be very interested in a meetup. Great. My dad says, Mom and I would be there. Yeah, I figured so. My parents know that if I'm doing something special, it's probably got a cooking element. My dad's like, dinner? I'm there. Funny. I'm also noticing I'm looking to my right and I'm smiling, and you guys can probably see where I had that tooth taken out. You want to talk about marks from a previous lifestyle? I abused my body, including my teeth, with lots of soda and sugar and a bunch of junk. And that's a permanent reminder of the fact that I don't do that anymore. So I'm transparent, guys. I'm real. I am here. I have no shame to show you that kind of stuff. I've shown you pictures on my channel of me at almost 400 pounds with no shirt on. Like, I mean, embarrassing stuff. I ain't hiding anything from you guys. I'm here. Just me. John, the pharmaceutical industry would be broke. It would be nice if all the companies that make processed junk would make PhD foods in some of your recipes. I agree. It's a long uphill climb to get food companies to be able to do that. I mean, because you would have to change the entire industry and the legal side of all of it too. But I would love to see it if we could someday. I love this. Jackie says, the older I get, the bigger my tinfoil hat collection gets. But I suspect there would be some wicked anti-carnivore propaganda, cancellations, and other nasty tactics against a global carnivore movement. I agree. There's so much politics in it, and that's why we back away from all of that kind of stuff, and we go on a local level and change the people around us, because if it happens under their noses and then suddenly it changes everything, then what do you do? I eat 0 carbs, sausage, or bacon. Yep, there you go. Making your own is better. Yep, I totally agree. If you guys didn't know, I have a bacon recipe to show you how to take pork belly and just make your own homemade bacon. No sugar cure. That's on the channel. Super, super cool. Sausage is next, it looks like, because people are saying they'd love to do it. 22Q Cat. Well, once the egg prices ever can go down, I'll sure save a lot of money on my food bill. I can't believe how much I spend just on eggs. I buy 10 dozen at a time. Yeah, egg prices have been rough lately. I'm hoping they come down, but I mean they're still good comparatively to other things. But yeah, I'm hoping egg prices come down because we go through a lot of eggs. The dog gets eggs every day in our house too, so we go through a lot of eggs. My dad says I can help with a sausage recipe. Maybe we'll have to do a little collaboration recipe between my dad and I for you guys, just some sausages. Yeah, it looks like everybody is interested in the sausages. Risa says, I find that the egg whites take the most time. Yeah, that's probably the hardest ingredient to make it not seem like what it is. A lot of other ingredients you can get away with, but if you just have liquid egg whites that you're going to cook and you want them to not seem like they're egg whites, that usually is the ingredient that takes the most work. So very smart, Risa. Very, very smart. And yeah, Jackie says that's a brilliant prep idea. John says, your mashed potatoes are complex, but totally worth the time and effort. Well, thank you, John. I think they are. I totally agree with you. My mom says, please let Dad help with the sausage recipe. We have a freezer full of fat and meat trimmings that he's planning on using to make sausage someday. We're running out of space. Yes, fair enough. Well, maybe we can put together a sausage recipe for you guys. So, John says there already is anti-keto and carnivore propaganda. Yes, there is. I have a feeling it would get a lot worse if a bunch more people suddenly overnight jumped on board. But yes, it's why we do what we do, guys, and that's why you sharing this kind of stuff and telling people about this and being the person that cares the most, that can change the most for other people. That's why that matters so much, because we're fighting a very, very large machine of propaganda and money and legal things and government and all sorts of stuff that try to stop all that. So just my opinion. John also says eggs are down to 21 cents each. They were over 30 cents a couple of months ago. They're starting to come down, I've noticed, but we just gotta bring that down a little bit more. Carrie says eggs and meat prices are crazy here where I live in Texas. I will be getting help soon with food. Yeah, they're pretty rough. So that's why I try to buy stuff on sale as much as I can, because like I said, I'm not a wealthy man. We do what we can, but every little bit helps. So, but well, guys, that is the bottom of the chat. I think we have gotten everyone caught up today. So I want to leave you with this thought. The people in your life that matter to you, your friends, your family, your children, your friends' children, your community, all of the people there locally, your little local government people, like whoever you have influence over, that you care in that area to have influence, care enough to try to change them. Care enough to share this information with them gently, kindly, with love, with understanding. Try to share this information and tell people that they can change their lives. Share my videos, share Dr. Barry's videos, share Nisha's videos, Dr. Baker's, Dr. Chafee's, Two Crazy Ketos, whoever you like, and you watch their videos, take their videos and share it with people and let people know that you care and that this can change their life, because the people who care the most can change people the most. Thank you guys for being here. The link for the Studios channel is down below in the description box. If you are watching this on the main channel, please go over there and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. You can watch some other videos I've done. I'm going to have some more videos coming that will be on that channel. It's going to be really cool. And we're going to be doing some interviews. I have some special guests scheduled that I think you're really going to love. One is a big deal. So that's going to be a very interesting conversation. That's going to be coming soon. So subscribe to that channel. Thank you guys for being here. All my other links are down below. If you need anything, if you have any questions, you can always find me. If not before, I will see you guys tomorrow night in the kitchen for Backstage with Chris, we're going to be using some of those salt-cured egg yolks that just came out a couple of days ago in a recipe. If you haven't seen that, go watch that video on my channel. It's my latest recipe video, and it's a great way to get the nutrition of an egg yolk in your diet for lots of salty, tasty, umami flavor, but very little money and very little effort. It's very simple, really, really great. And we're going to use that in the recipe on Tuesday, tomorrow night in the kitchen, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on the main Chris Cooking Nash channel. We'll be cooking live for you guys. Bring your questions. I love every single one of you guys. Have an amazing Monday. Get ready for your week. I hope you're motivated. I'll see you tomorrow night in the kitchen. This is Chris Cooking Nashville. Guys, eat your meat. Love your life. Care about people and help change them. And we'll see you guys real soon. Bye.